Welcome back! Hey, Steve Baker.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
What are we going to talk about today?
We are going to talk about how much do tax rates affect your payment.
Ooh, in-depth.
Yes.
In-depth, close, and personal
Yes,
tax
yes.
rates.
It actually affects your payment a lot. So I have Houston ISD as my school system. So my tax rate in the city is 2.5%. In League City, you've got school tax. So Gen Ray probably down here pays like 3.6%. Well, let me tell you why that's important.
Let's make it easy math.
So you buy a $200,000 house. A 2.5% tax rate would make your taxes $5,000 a year, correct?
Yes.
So if you're escrowing with your monthly payment, that's about $412 a month in taxes. So let's say you decide to buy that $200,000 house in a 3.9. What do we do with 3.5?
3.5.
In a 3.5. That's $7,000 as opposed to $5,000. So that's an additional $2,000 a year, which is another $167 a month. So instead of paying $412 a month as part of your payment, you're now paying $579 actually. So when you look at that as far as affordability goes, you'd have that extra $170 for mortgage payment for principal and interest.
Yeah.
So that would buy you about an extra probably $40,000 or $50,000.
Every 10 grand's about $50, right?
About it might be a little bit less because rates are under 3, so it's really every $10,000 is probably about $30, $32. So you think about that, you got $170, you could buy about $50,000 more. So obviously, if you have children that are going to school, you would prefer to live in the $200,000 house in the 3.5 to 3.8% tax rate neighborhood because you're going to have better schools than I'm going to have in the city. But me, I'm single, so that
single and ready to mingle. This is little Santa hat.
So it would be pointless for me to live in a high-end school system because I do not have children that are going to go to school there. So there is no benefit to me to live in there and paying that extra $2,000 a year in property tax.
Absolutely.
I'm better off living where I am and paying cheaper property tax.
So just think of it this way. For every extra $1,000 you're paying towards your taxes at the end of the year, that's an additional $85 a month. So in his neck of the woods, you could afford $250, whereas in another neck of the woods, it's a whole
more
another
like
percent, $200.
Yeah.
So just know that when you are running numbers, that's why your realtor is like, this is your address, talk with your lender.
And you need to be mindful of that. If you're looking at two houses that are very similar and you like them both, and they're basically in the same area, but one is in one school system and the tax rate's going to be 3.5, and another that's maybe a half a mile away or whatever is in a different school system and it's 2.5. You essentially live in the same neighborhood, right? I mean, you're going to shop at the same Target, you're going to go to the same HEB, you're just as close to the 45 as you know. So you have to make
going
that
to the same cookouts.
Right. So you got to make that decision.
When you reflect back at your parents, because a lot of my friends, their parents, when they moved out, their parents got a really cool house.
Yeah.
They did it for you. So a lot of times, people will sacrifice their house so that they can be in a really great tax district because it has great schools. So that's why another point of your first house is not your forever home.
It's not. But what you got to think about is it's going to be better than what you're renting now.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, we've gotten decent at this over time.
I make you better.
You do, because I don't like doing these videos, but I've gotten better at doing them.